welcome back to the 43rd episode of the HGO podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ethan, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host with the co-most, it's Hunter. Hey Hunter, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing swell.
It's interesting.
What do you think would win in a fight?
Oh,
2
gosh.
lions or 2 million chickens?
What a great question. If you're new to the show, we do this every week. We ask the same question. 2 lions or 2 million? How many chickens?
2 million.
Oh, 2 million
It's like
chickens.
it's like a Dynasty Warriors effect. Obviously, the lions could kill several of those chickens. It's just a matter of could they kill them all.
Well, that's a great question. Who knows? I just love how you throw me off the rails straight away with that. So thank you for that.
Hey, last week you said we don't go off the rails enough.
True that. We're also joined by the Weeb Wonder himself. It's Kyle. Hey, Kyle, how you doing?
What does a chicken have to attack a lion with? Like,
talons?
What does a chicken do offensively?
It's talons.
Peck?
Yeah, and pecking.
Isn't peck a Pokemon move? Come on.
I just don't think you're understanding the sheer number of chickens here. It's 2 million chickens.
That's a lot of chickens.
Ethan, I can't fathom 2 million of anything,
Yeah,
let alone chickens.
If Hunter said 2,000, then I'd say the Lions have an advantage.
That's the Lions, easily.
That. But 2 million, that's just way too many, you know?
It's true.
I had to choose an absurd number so I wouldn't undershoot it, you know.
I'm just imagining like the chickens from Zelda.
You see, that's what inspired this originally, because this all came from I was having a chat about hypotheticals, and I was like, so you mean something like, and then I thought of like the Zelda Kukos swarming Link, and I'm like, 2 million chickens versus, I don't know why I chose just 2 lions, but you know.
Why not, dude? Why not? And he's been quiet, and I respect that, so we should probably introduce him so he can talk. He's good.
Not really, but...
No, okay. We won't introduce you then. Moving on. No, it's the Jacobean experience himself. It's Jack. Hey, Jack, how you doing?
Oh, I didn't realize we were going with a new nickname, but yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. If I say it, it happens, right? That's how that works.
Yeah.
Oh. Everyone's webcams on my end have just like done a massive dump.
The server just took a poopy.
Yeah, this is great, by the way. We're using Discord this week, ladies and gentlemen, so the video version might look a bit weird. I'm going to do a real quick. Watch this. Guys, don't look. A virtual gaze video users as I quickly change the server to back to Europe, and we'll see what happens. Wow. We'll see what happens. Now, are we back?
Wow.
Are we back? There we go. Cool. Right. We love technical issues at the start of an episode. Why not? But I knew we shouldn't have used NA. But yeah,
I'm just saying, we have that other recording to fall back on if we want it.
We do. We were waiting for Hunter, so I was testing the new recording, because we're recording with Discord now, just to see if it's easier. So let us know in the comments how the audio is. It might be a bit different. The audio and balancing might be a little bit off. But in terms of quality, you're going to have to let us know if it's good, if it's bad, what it's like, so we can gauge if we're going to use Zencaster still, or if we're going to move just to doing Discord stuff like this.
Also, let us know if you want to hear that hour of banter.
Yeah, maybe we'll...
Hell yeah.
We'd have to edit some of it out, because we said some personal stuff, but other than that, we'd have to... other than cutting out the personal information...
you get to watch me eat pizza.
Yeah, if you want to watch Jack eat pizza, why not? But if you're new here, this is the HGO podcast, kind of a new name, where each and every week we come together to talk about everything that's hot in the world of gaming. You can find us on podcast services everywhere: iTunes, Apple with Apple Podcasts, Google Play with whatever they call their Google Podcast. Is it Google Podcasts? Apple, Amazon Music, Spotify, whatever. We're on it.
Yeah, because Google Play doesn't exist anymore, I don't think.
Doesn't. I keep saying Google Play, and I think it's just the Google Store or something now. Who knows? Let us know if you listen.
No clue. I have an Android, and I have no idea.
Yeah, but if you want to watch our faces and watch the weird technical error that happened that audio listeners have no clue about.
Still calls it Google Play.
Ah, well, there you go then. Thank you, Hunter. Very cool. Doing God's work out there.
Well, I was thinking of like the music player.
Yeah, I don't know what that podcast version's called. But otherwise, if you want to watch this video version, you can head on over to Hot Gamers Only on YouTube. Just search Hot Gamers Only and you should find our channel. Or head to bit.ly/HGOYT. Speaking of the YouTube, we've rebranded. We are now just Hot Gamers Only. We're no longer confusing people. Everything will now be under the HGO umbrella. That's why we're kind of calling this now the HGO podcast instead of just Hot Gamers Only, because everything that we do now encompasses the HGO brand. So make sure you're subscribed. Follow us on Twitter as well, @HotGamersOnly, for updates on everything that we do, news, reviews, all of that shenanigans. We should have some reviews coming up real soon. I have re-rendered the intro so that it's good to go. So I'm sure me and Hunter and maybe the fabled Clubhouse Games review one day will show up as well.
Dude, one day.
One day, dude. One day.
One day.
But yeah, this is just the
just
start.
needs a bit more time in the oven.
Yeah, this is just our start of 2021.
How long before it gets burnt?
It doesn't. It's a very special recipe.
It's a
Never
family
goes
recipe.
bad.
It's a family recipe, dude. Yeah, exactly.
For that family-friendly game.
That family-friendly game, exactly. But yeah, we've got a lot of stuff planned for 2021, and this is just the start. So yeah, go and leave us with a subscription and a like on all of that stuff. And if we can get to 100 subscribers, then we can have a custom URL as well. So that'd be really great. We also
I play Mario 64.
Yeah, we have the Mario 64 incentive and stuff still as well.
Still.
Yeah, it's still,
Ethan
still
might
going.
join me.
I might join you. We might also release definitive if we hit 100 subs. We'll see. We'll see what we do. But yeah, with that out of the way, we're doing a bit of a chill episode. Last week, I know what you're thinking. You've got that little... I see you little fucker in the back that's watching that's like, you promised the fucking... What we do? What are we calling it? We're calling it the fantasy draft or whatever. It's like, you promised the fantasy draft last week. Yeah, I know I promised it, but Sam's not here, so we're doing something different. Effectively, we were going to do our predictions episode this week, but we can't because Sam's not here, so we'll be doing it next week. So we're doing what we were planning on doing next week, this week, which I have no clue. Hunter, what are we doing this week?
Why? It's interesting that you ask me. This topic was Kyle's idea. But,
I'm dumping it on you, dude. Audience participation.
We're doing voice performances.
Yeah, it's basically
best voice performances.
I have it down as best performances in gaming, which equals best voice acts in gaming. We're gonna do a bit of both, but I'm not gonna lie, this episode might go off the rails a tiny bit. So, if you're here for a serious discussion on what is truly the best moment in video games or whatever, that isn't here. We're just here to chill, talk about favorite performances, talk about games we love, the kind of usual stuff. This is one of the longest intros we've ever done, but hey, if you're still watching, thank you. We'll promise a real podcast now.
It was that chicken question.
It was the chicken question. It was the issues with the NA Discord server just going off the rails, so that was fun.
I'm still over here trying to fathom 2 million chickens personally.
Hey, well, maybe we'll come back to you at the end of the show. Maybe we'll come back to you.
Where
area to cover lions?
Yeah.
Where would 2 million chickens even conglomerate?
You know what? We're just gonna
Africa, where the lions are.
We're moving on because we need.
That's where the lions are.
We need to structure this damn podcast, guys. Can we go?
No, we don't.
Yes, we do. Moving on.
Look, if other people can make a show about talking about nothing, why can't we?
You just want to bring chaos to the podcast now, apparently.
I'm fine with chaos as long as it's gaming related chaos. Am I right?
Dude, you're chaotic.
This is a Dynasty Warriors game.
Oh, right. Moving on. So best performances in gaming, which I'm sure will go on 20 million tangents when everyone picks something. So I'm going to go to Hunter first because I know for a fact, talking in the pre-show that we may release, the fabled episode 42.5, if it were, Cal wasn't prepared, so I'm giving Cal as much time as he wants. Jack's looking at his thumbs, so he looks really engaged, so we'll go to Hunter.
I spent the last half of that rejected episode getting my list.
Okay, I believe you.
I didn't prepare a list, but I like video game voices, so I'm going to start with David Hayter, voice of Solid Snake.
Okay, cool. David Hayter, do you have a favorite moment from his performances in general?
There's this post-credit stinger at the end of MGS2 that's this really good, series of lines that he says. Can't recite it word for word or anything,
it's like
but
a political
go and look it up.
Kind of speech.
Something like life isn't just about passing on your genes, the world moves on, etc. Leave behind something nice, memes. So on and so forth. Go look it up. I think if you put in MGS2 post credits, you'll find it. But all throughout, Solid Snake is my favorite character in the history of anything ever. So David Hayter lending his voice to that effectively embodies the character, and there's a bit of range to it too, because he does the whole gruff action hero thing really well, but when emotional moments have to happen, I feel like they always come across really well as too.
Mm-hmm.
And then like in MGS4 when he has to do the beaten down old man thing,
I fucking love how
that's
he
also
does
done very effectively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Snake was one of my picks as well, like David Hayter as well. I've always just really, really liked his performances. Even when like they brought him back in Smash, I was like, "There's no way they can have David Hayter on him. Like, surely they've recast his voice or something. He's still on him." I was like, "Jeez."
Yeah, it's amazing.
I still
Also,
don't understand
really
why
fun
they
to
recast him,
imitate.
dude. Yeah. I don't know
It's
why they
MGS5,
did for
yeah.
MGS5, man.
Yeah, it's just.
I mean,
it's not Snake without David
If you
Hayter.
know if you know the story of MGS5, they can kind of give a reason for it, but
Yeah.
I still don't think it was a good enough reason to replace him with just a celebrity when the celebrity did a much worse job anyway. So
I mean, I don't hate Sutherland for what his part was. Like, he didn't get given a lot to work with anyway.
True.
But like, I would have preferred David Hayter just stay, but I think Sutherland did okay in his part.
Yeah, true. The thing to me is I have hardly played MGS. My memories of Metal Gear Solid are watching my dad play the PS1 game when I was really young. And that's all about. I've seen like bits and pieces of all the MGS games because my dad's played every single one of them. So I remember growing up watching
Man
someone
of
else
culture.
play bits of them. Yeah, exactly. I'm telling you, one of these days, I feel like I should have my dad, like, to have a conversation with my dad on one of these episodes at one point, just see, just so I can prove because I just think that'd be an interesting conversation at some point. Maybe we'll do it one day. It'd be just a funny idea because no one else's parents really touch games that much, whereas my dad plays quite a bit, so it'd be quite interesting to talk to him about it. But no. So other than those memories of him playing MGS as a kid, and obviously some of the like iconic lines, all I think of is the stupid Smash Bros lines from Brawl where he's talking about fucking everyone.
Oh yeah, all the codec calls.
Yeah, that and David Hayter's cameo where he says stuff
right?
like the clap of my ass cheeks, dude. It's stuff like that. Those are the two memories of David Hayter. But he's such an iconic character. I like him quite a bit, even though I haven't fully played them. Metal Gear is like one of those games where it's like one day I will, but kind of because Kojima's done with it, I just know what happened to Kojima in the end. I'm just like, ugh, oh well, we'll see. But no, good pick. Kyle, I'm gonna come to you.
Yeah.
Have you got? Can you beat that? No pressure, bud. No pressure. Can you?
Yeah,
beat that?
dude. I'll use it with the power of British voice actors. I have.
Oh, Chantal, thank you for picking me, Kyle. I appreciate it. Let me tell you why I'm so great. Right.
Go on, Ethan. Why are you so great?
You know, I just have so much range. You know, I just have so much vocal range. Yeah.
Really? Let's hear it.
You do have a lovely radio voice.
A good Kermit as well.
Oh no. 100 subs and I'll show you my Kermit voice.
That
doesn't sound good.
That's why I added voice at the end.
You hesitated.
That's going in the yearly bloopers, dude. 100 subs and I'll show you my Kermit. That's going in the yearly bloopers. Right, moving on. Derailed. Kyle, what's your pick?
Man.
What's your pick, Kyle? What's your pick?
So my pick goes to Adam Howden, the voice of Shulk from Xenoblade Chronicles.
Okay.
I think that Adam Howden has a really good kind of like laid back voice for the kind of character that Shulk is. Kind of a more mellow, analytical kind of character. But when Shulk gets to like his anger points, like Howden does a really great job just with all that infliction. I don't know how to describe this.
It's the
but basically,
yeah.
When Howden needs to be pissed, he can get fucking pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, one line that's always ingrained into my brain is towards the end of, I think it's chapter 2, when spoiler stuff happens, and Shulk just gets back on his feet, throws out the Monado, and he's like, "I'll kill you!"
Yeah, it's really powerful. Like,
yeah.
That vocal line.
Mm.
Yeah.
You can tell he went really all out on that line and stuff.
He really did, yeah.
Flash.
I feel it. He's not my favorite performance, though, in that game.
Yeah, like, I think there are better ones, but Howden is, like, the only one who continued on with voice acting afterwards.
True.
I believe he was Anders in Dragon Age.
Dragon Age 2, yeah. And he continued to come back in the Xenoblade franchise, lending his voice to a creative character in Xenoblade X. And then he came back as Shulk again in Xenoblade 2, and one of the characters near the end of the game.
Mm-hmm. He's an interesting pick. I agree. I see it. I personally think the best performance in that game is probably Dunban, actually, in terms of actual.
I agree.
strength.
Rufus Jones did great.
Is that his name, Rufus Jones? Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna put his name down as well on the timestamps,
etc.
Because
man gets a lightsaber at one point.
I don't know, because my thing with Shulk is good, but he's very anime protag, where, if you know what I mean, there's a certain for me, there's a certain voice that I feel actors put on when they're in an anime kind of thing, where it very much is screams are really overdone, but a lot of the stuff is kind of on this kind of if you imagine a vocal soundstage, a lot of it just kind of hovers around the same kind of point, and then when it peaks, it fucking peaks because they're told to go all out. But the vocal range on the day-to-day talk isn't as varied as a usual conversation is, whereas I feel like Dunban to me is the only character in that game where I'm like, oh, this just feels like not just doesn't feel just like an anime character. Like, he has the cape, like he has the fucking arm cape thing, but other than that, in terms of vocal performance, he feels like an actual character to me. So that's my favorite.
I quite like Dixon actually in the first
Dixon's also just a good.
He's a very mustache twirly villain when he goes villainous there.
Joke. Yeah, he's just like a very, I'll get you, Shulk. Like, he's just like that kind of.
It's just a fun character to watch do things.
This is the Monado. He kind of has a voice like this and twirls his mustache in the shadows going,
Was it overdone?
Are you guys going on an adventure? I'll be seeing you real soon, Shulk. Like, it's that kind of voice where he's just like in your ear. It's just like very, very anime villain, but well done at the same time. No, there's a lot. One last thing I want to add on to Shulk is that there's a video called "Things Shulk Probably Wouldn't Say," where someone took Xenoblade cutscenes and put in Anders' voice lines from Dragon Age. Oh, nice!
Oh, that's amazing.
There's just one part in that video that's ingrained into my brain where Shulk is talking with Fiora on the bench at Outlook Park, and one of the lines was, "I really like those shoes. They really bring out your knees." And I don't know why, but that just seems like such a Shulk thing that's not a Shulk thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but it's just stuck in it lives rent-free in my brain, and I can't get rid of it.
I can't remember what the context of that line in Dragon Age 2 was. I've replayed 2 the least, so it's hard to recall. But
see, I don't know anything about Dragon Age 2, so that's just a weird voice line to me.
It's the worst one.
Aw.
Very cool.
That's unfortunate.
Right. Jack, do you have a voice? Do you have a...
Yes, I have a voice, actually. It's really good.
It's beautiful.
Let's hear it.
You're listening right now.
You gonna show us your Kermit, too?
Can we please stop talking?
Can we not?
We're
gonna get demonetized. We're gonna get
you guys are getting monetized.
We're gonna get anti-monetized, dude. Like, YouTube's gonna make us pay for this to be up, dude. Like, this is awful. Right, Jack, go ahead.
Okay, I'll start with I have a few actually I want to talk through today. So I'll start with
we've got time.
Great. I know you do. Do.
Yeah, we got like a podcast's length. Yeah.
Shit. Anyway, we'll start with Lex Lang actually from Crash Bandicoot series.
Okay.
I don't know which performance I prefer out of Crash 4 or Twin Sanity, but they're are really close. I just love what they did with Cortex from obviously Clancy Brown used to be the previous voice actor, so Clancy Brown's a really prominent voice actor. He did was it Mr. Krabs for SpongeBob?
Mr. Krabs,
yeah. He was Kurgan hilariously in the 80s film The Highlander, which is a cult classic to me. He's basically the most over the top villain ever. But enough about Clancy Brown. Basically, like he transformed, he turned Cortex from like what was kind of like a menacing, like pathetic villain in like the original trilogy into Lex Lang, which is like the flamboyant, the pathetic, overly flamboyant Cortex we get nowadays, which is just it just kind of fits that Looney Tunes like thing
he very much is more of a Looney Tunes villain,
definitely like a Saturday morning cartoon villain.
And he's like just incredible. I love what he's done with that character.
What you were saying between Twinsanity and 4, I think Twinsanity is the funniest script, but I think Crash 4 is his better performance. That's the way I'd see it. Is Twinsanity has got a laugh out loud script, whereas Crash 4 is still funny, but Lex Lang's performance in Crash 4 is really well done. Whereas in Twinsanity, it's a fine performance, but a lot of that performance is the script. Is backed up by the script, whereas I feel like Lex Lang is what's making the script special in Crash 4.
4 definitely has like a lot more of those quotable moments, I feel like, just because of how like the script kind of works in that game as well. Like so you have the flashback tapes, and then you have also like the sections where Cortex, like not even just in cutscenes, but like just in levels in the end game and whatnot.
Yeah. No, I feel it. No, I really like Lex Lang. And it's kind of weird because that used to be an unpopular opinion. That really did. People saying that they liked Lex Lang. Yeah, it used to be a really unpopular opinion. And now it's like no one says Clancy Brown's better because he wasn't. If you still live in that under that rock, move out, kids.
If you've ever, what I recommend, if you look at the ending cutscene for Wrath of Cortex, Clancy Brown did not give a shit about that role anymore because of how Universal pretty much treated like the Crash Bandicoot series at this point.
Yeah.
He put no effort into that performance, and at the end of the game, you can hear him break out a character and turn into Mr. Krabs as Uka Uka.
Yeah.
It's so fucking bad.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
You landed us in the middle of nowhere. You sound like Mr. Krabs.
But no, I like that. I've got a pile of show and tells here, so it's just picking which one, dude. Yeah, guys, it's show and tell time. You know you love it. I'm gonna go.
Did you actually get the voice actors to come on?
Here he is.
Surprise!
Yeah, exactly.
It's Nolan North.
Oh man,
Nolan North is on. I have like a list here. Oop, you can't see it of actors. And I went for specific actors in specific roles for a lot of it. And then I do have just shout outs to actors who are great in everything, but I don't have like a standout performance for them. And Nolan North is one of those people that's just brilliant in absolutely everything. But I couldn't pick necessarily a standout moment that rivaled any of the others that are on this list.
Jack's probably making calls to the Nolan North.
Like on a phone.
Ethan says you're shit.
All right, guys, Laura Bailey's on her way.
Nolan, I do love you though, really. My first pick is a character. This person had already done this role before and had done a great job, but I think that when he portrayed this role in a particular video game, this is when he hit the pinnacle of playing this character, in my opinion. And that is Mark Hamill as the Joker in the Batman Arkham series. I picked Arkham Asylum and City here in particular. And yes, I do think a lot of his peak content came from the Arkham. I think his performances in the Arkham games are fucking great. Hunter's like ready for a fight.
No, they are really good. It's just I don't know if I've ever heard anyone try and like pick that out specifically over the animated series and whatnot. So
I think it's because I think it's because of the material.
That sounds like it's new.
I think it's because of the material. I think that Mark Hamill is a really good dark Joker, but up until the animated series, the content that he had to work with was for a certain audience where it was like, yes, the animated series is dark, but it's not that dark, and people that did say it was dark were probably 8 when they watched it. If you're like me and you didn't grow up with the animated series and you've watched bits and pieces of it at this current time,
did you ever see Return of the Joker?
Yeah, but I'm still like,
He tortured Robin for weeks.
Yeah, but he did that, yeah.
He brainwashed him.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It was fine.
Yeah.
The comics did it more. The comics did it more gruesome, and to be fair, so did the game. Without spoiling that one, if you haven't played fucking that game in the past 6 years, what the fuck are you doing? You should have played Arkham Knight at that point. The reason I got the Return to Arkham collection was because I didn't want to spoil Arkham. You've played Arkham. Arkham Knight's fucking donkeys old. You've played it. You know Mark Hamill's in it. But in particular, because my favourite is, say what you want about Arkham Knight, I fucking love Mark Hamill in Arkham Knight. Nearly all of his lines are fucking perfect in that game. There is a moment...
That game would be worse without him, for sure.
There's a moment, Kyle, where there's these basically fake Jokers, but because Batman's hallucinating Joker the entire game, there's this like singer who's singing a song to Batman, but because Batman thinks it's Joker, it's just fucking Joker taunting him, singing a song in the middle, surrounded by a load of bombs, and it's just Mark Hamill hamming it up like to the max. It's my favorite scene in the entire Arkham series. I fucking love it.
Oh, God.
But no, I just fucking love Mark Hamill.
Send that to me later.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. It's just him taunting how that Joker's stuck in his head and that he's never leaving him. It's so great. But no, man, I fucking love Mark Hamill in the Arkham games. I don't think he gets...
Your parents are dead and I'm still laughing.
Yeah, he's like, your parents are dead and I'm laughing.
You're laughing.
Yeah.
Your parents are dead and you're laughing.
It's great. I don't think... I think Hamill gets a lot of praise for the Joker, but I think it comes all from the animated series and not enough for the Arkham games, in my opinion. So that's why I
didn't actually know that Hamill came back for the games.
Yeah, Kevin and Hamill did the games, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Except for Arkham Origins.
Except for Origins, where it was Troy Baker that did Joker, who also did a great job in that game, by the way.
Yeah, he did great.
Wasn't Troy Baker also in MGS5?
Troy Baker's in everything.
He's in everything.
Yeah. Yes.
Troy Baker is in every video game I made. But no, there you go. That's the most... I think Mark Hamill... You can find me on this. This is my one... I finally have a controversial opinion, ladies and gentlemen. Other than saying The Last of Us 2 is a good game, which is apparently controversial enough. Fuck you all. I'll die on that hill, dude. I'm dying on that hill. My controversial opinion is, I think Mark Hamill's better in the games than he is in the animated series. Fucking sue me. On to the next one. Thank you for that one, kids. I'm going to place that behind me. Back to Hunter. There we go.
All right, I guess next up, I'm just going to go through favorite characters here. Reuben Langdon is Dante. Dude oozes cool. It's like the essence of the idea of what a 13-year-old thinks is cool, and somehow like grown men still think it's cool later in life.
So cool.
I should just have a tally in the fucking background at this point of number of times we mentioned Dante on this fucking podcast at this rate. It's listen, every episode.
Normally it's Kyle, and seeing as how I'm dressed, you'd expect me to be the one who brings it up more.
Dante
Don't worry.
is the coolest character in the world. And I'm not taking opinions at this time.
He's
like,
alright.
Yeah,
play the fucking games, Ethan.
He's alright.
And then see if you're still
I wouldn't call him cool. He like you said, he's a teenager's perception of cool, dude. And I'm like
cool.
I'm like a fucking boomer, dude. I'm just uncultured. I'm just like, cut your hair, stop dyeing it. I'm just the old person that's like, wear proper clothing.
That's pretty mighty talk from Mr. Ponytail over there.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Exactly. This is lockdown hair, dude. There's a difference, dude. There's a difference. This is lockdown hair.
Aside from just being really cool, Dante actually manages to get a few scenes that are, when they need to be emotional. More often than not, they hit. Like when the dude has to be serious, it works.
Mm-hmm.
And he also is really great at hamming it up. There's the scene in DMC4 where he starts reciting like this faux Shakespeare thing with this other really hammy villain, and it's the best.
Sanity to pay for power.
It is amazing. I love it. Like, he comes in on a sliding bench and shoots confetti from somewhere. I'm not sure, but like, and Dante before DMC3 had like different voice actors. Like for DMC1, there was this man named Drew Coombs, and then I can't remember the DMC2's actor's name because, you know, he had like 6 lines.
DMC2.
Once Langdon hit the series, that became his voice, and it kept going from there. Like, it would be weird if they got anyone else to do it now.
Yeah. Langdon also just does a bunch of other stuff with the DMC games. Like, he helps do motion capture for Capcom. And watching him do that stuff,
like a stuntman. It's really
a lot of fun. Yeah, him, Dan Southworth, the voice of Virgil, and they both did stunt work. And then Dan Southworth and Johnny Yong Bosch were also in Power Rangers. Yeah.
It's really weird.
It's bizarre, but also very cool.
Cool.
You sound very enthusiastic about that.
Pardon? Well, I'm just sitting here thinking, you just basically gave me a reason for why Dante's cool, not why fucking Reuben Langdon's performance is good. You just kind of went, Dante's cool, let's talk about him on a fucking sliding on a chair, baby, a fucking bench, not like, oh, this is why his performance is good. You just played me. You gave us a podcast topic again just so you could talk about Dante again. Okay. I've been played. All right. I've been fucking played again.
Actually, you just reminded me of something. Because talking about range with Reuben Langdon's acting, there was a TGS trailer for DMC4 like 2 years before it came out, where it took like this. It seemed like Dante was taking this like sinister, villainous kind of take, since it was supposed to be Nero's game, and it was always like so well done when he read those lines as like a bad guy, seemingly. I still wish they would have done that Tilth instead, honestly. It would have made DMC4 really unique. Like, I believe it would have been like, I believe it would have come across really well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know if I've got anything else.
I'll tell you that. You know, I was waiting for it, dude. I was waiting for it. But you know what? That's a better reason than fucking Dante being Dante for a reason. So I accept that now. I accept that as a valid
I talked
answer.
about how he can be serious and absolutely hammy in like different content, and it works.
Sometimes both in the same cutscene.
You've said enough. I've got you. I get you, dude. I get you. I'm gonna give you like a pass for that one.
Your first one, the Joker being the Joker.
Yeah, but it was Mark Hamill's performance and him like. I didn't say, but you know when Joker fucking.
When Joker sings the song in the middle of all those bombs.
But I said because I said Mark Hamill's performance during that was great. I didn't say when Dante slides on a bench, something he doesn't need to say something during. At least
that's the thing with Reuben Langdon. Like, he's not just the voice actor. He's
also the
actor for Dante.
Yeah.
So you're seeing Dante do stuff. You're seeing
performance
stuff. That's part of the performance.
Hey, I understand what motion capture is, Kyle. I understand what it is. I will accept it on this part. At this point, dude, I'll accept it, okay? I'm sorry. I'll accept it because,
The piece has been said.
Kyle, what have you got? And if you fucking say Virgil, I'm walking out.
Say Nero. Do it.
So, I do have Johnny Yong Bosch on my list, but let's talk about his performance in Persona 4.
Nice.
Now...
Oh, God. If people don't hate me already this episode, I already know where this is fucking going. Right, okay, this is everyone hates Ethan. You carry on.
So, Johnny Yong Bosch did the voice for...
Also, Jack hasn't played P4, so make sure you don't spoil anything for him.
Yes, I know.
I'm just making
Johnny
sure...
Yong Bosch did the voice for the protagonist in Persona 4. Mm-hmm. So, as such... You know how Persona protags go. They don't get many lines outside of...
many lines, did they?
What's up?
I was going to say, it doesn't have much lines to go off.
They have about 15,000 versions of to do.
Same with Joker, then.
Persona.
Yeah. All their voice lines come from battle. I I don't know how much we can really count this, but he also did the voice for the anime, and my god, he fucking killed it. Every line he had in that game, in that show, was golden. Pardon the pun.
Yeah, cool. Well, they didn't do a dub of golden, so it's fine. But no, I like him as the P4 pro tag, I guess. There's not that much of him. I do like him though.
Well, maybe if you finish watching the anime, you'll get more of him.
I don't like the anime that much. I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
here's
something wrong with you.
Right, well, here's a tangent for you. Here's my thing with the P4 anime. I think it's a very funny anime because of the way the lines are voiced. I don't think it's a very good anime. Which is probably the same how I will feel about P5s when I eventually get around to that dub, because I watched the original version. I was just like, well, this is awful. So maybe I'll have that same feeling. It's just, yeah, it's funny and it's cheesy, but in terms of actual anime, I'm literally only watching it just to see what the stupid things that the writers wrote and thought was okay. That's
I mean, they just picked all the silly answers.
Yeah, all the silly answers, yeah, from what I heard of the P4M.
Mm-hmm.
There's one episode where Narukami goes to work at the daycare, and to entertain the kids, he dresses up like Teddy.
Oh yeah, I've seen that episode. That's a good.
And then at the end, he gets off the bus in the Teddy suit, and all of the investigation crew is just looking at him. He falls down and rolls away. He's like, "I need to do something to get out of here." Think. And then he just rolls.
Yeah. But no.
And also, in all the material outside of Persona 4, when Narukami starts to get more speaking lines and stuff like Persona Arena, Persona Dancing, Blaze Blue, like, Johnny Young Bosch does a great job of doing what he needs to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
He knows when to be silly, when to be serious. With Narukami, it's a lot of being silly.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to talk about him in particular because of spoilers.
Right.
Like, very...
Right. But I do want to say, for the other character he plays, I think he does a fantastic job with it.
And this is where Ethan gets fucking cancelled by the Persona community of being a heathen. I think he does a good job throughout half of the game. And that's where I will leave it at that, because I don't want Kyle to cry and I don't want to be cancelled by the Persona community, so I'll just leave it at that. I think he does a good job on every part of playing the villain and going batshit when he needs to go batshit and staying calm and collected during his speech. That's all I'll say on the piece. And then if you want my opinion, I'll just mine with the exact same level of detail. We'll say, I think when he's playing his calm, collected, creepier side, I think he's really good. I think when he goes all out, I do not enjoy it. And that's my thing with him. But it's personal taste more than anything. It's not a bad performance. I don't think it's more of character problems than it is performance problems, I'd say. Rather than, yeah. I think he does a great job of what he's given. I just don't like the second half of what he's given, if that makes sense. And
thank you all for listening to the most civil disagreement in Persona fan base history.
It's not that hard, guys. You don't have to scream at each other.
Exactly.
Now, when Hunter brings up Devil May Cry, that's when I scream. Yeah, I'd like to offer a public apology to Hunter for saying that his submission wasn't good enough. I am sorry.
Deliberately did not say Nero, but Yong Bosch did great in that too.
Yeah, he does great as Nero.
Very cool. Right, Jack, you've been sitting there quiet.
All right.
Staying out of the fire. Come on, what have you got?
I don't have much to add to the Persona 4 part because I've not played it.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
You should start getting opinions on games you haven't played. You should start doing
game.
I mean, nah.
That was the longest nah ever, dude. Someone was probably listening in their car and they were like, "Is mine buffering? Did the download fail? Like, what the fuck?"
Damn it! I hit a dead zone.
Oh.
Okay.
Anyway.
My other pick for today was going to be not a really common name you hear, Antony Del Rio, who does the voice of Pit in Kid Icarus Uprising.
Okay.
Obviously, when we got Pit for the first time, like modernized, we had him in Brawl, and I fucking cannot stand his voice in that. And honestly,
Yep.
kind of made me not give a shit about the character. But Uprising, like, he brought such a fucking goofy, lovable performance to that character that I just like. The script they were given for that game was just
It's so great.
it's gold, comedy gold. And I like what Antony Del Rio did with it. Obviously he also voices Dark Pit, so it's basically just an edgier version of Pit.
Yeah.
Not really much I can say about Dark Pit, it's just what it is. But for what Pit is and the banner and stuff that he has going along with Viridi and Palutena, it's a game I really, really recommend just for you to kind of understand the kind of bannerish interactions that go on between all the characters in that game. And Hades as well. Like they're all just
God, Hades is so great.
Pit and Hades bounce off Alyson so much. It's so good. But yeah, like with Antony Del Rio, I think what I just kind of appreciate about his performance is the fact that he kind of gave that character that side that we never really got to see of Pit, because obviously the franchise was fucking dead and probably not going to come back again anytime soon.
Poggers.
Right. And Brawl didn't really give him a chance to show off that side either.
Yeah, I mean, Brawl wasn't Antony Del Rio. I think I don't know who voiced Pit in Brawl, but in Smash 4 and Ultimate, we got Antony Del Rio for it.
Yeah.
But you know, Smash is Smash. We don't actually forget. I actually do forget we do get Palutena's guidance conversations.
Oh my god, yeah. Those are great.
This is kind of like, I guess I can go on about this as well with how Palutena's voice actors changed going into Ultimate. Same with Viridi actually.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Didn't bounce off as well.
Cool. I have no experience with Kid Icarus. I genuinely haven't played. I'm the reason that that game's never going to get a sequel, because I didn't buy Uprising. To be fair, I didn't
played any of them.
I didn't have the 3DS at the time, actually.
I'm familiar with it.
Mm-hmm.
No, I know that. Yeah, my knowledge of Kid Icarus Uprising is I know Jack really liked it, and that's about it.
I know Hades memes, and I know that its control scheme was wacky.
Right.
Controls
okay.
are not the best.
No,
Dude, Hades' voice actor was a gift in that game.
I should have talked about Hades, honestly.
Hey, you did still. Hey, we'll count it for 2. Okay, tiny bit. Right. Okay. I've got how many? Oh god, I've got quite a few. But I have like 3 serious ones and 1 stupid one. So I'm gonna leave the stupid one till later. We'll get. So one I'm gonna do this one because this person turned a character that I fucking despised into a character I actually liked. So I'm gonna give a shout out to Christopher Judge for God of War Kratos. Or you guys may know his famous line, "Boy." It's a real tearjerker. But no, what he did for that character, man, is fucking unbelievable. I remember when it was announced that they were doing a soft reboot of God of War, and that they were going to actually try and make it more story driven. I was like, who fucking likes Kratos though? No one likes Kratos. Like everyone, even people that like God of War go, yeah, but Kratos is a prick, isn't he? Like he's awful, and he's a really terrible character. And they somehow turned one of the most like despised characters in gaming in terms of just from like a story perspective and what he is, into one of the most compelling characters that I've seen in a game for like the past 4 or 5 years. He's fucking great. I don't remember. Do you remember, Hunter, the name of the kid? I think it's Sonny, isn't it, that plays Atreus? I think his name's Sonny. I don't know the
actor's name, no.
But whoever plays Atreus, the chemistry between those two is fucking great. Like honestly, like they nailed the chemistry and just the performances, the way that Kratos kind of is how Kratos' walls break, like his emotional walls crack and break throughout the progress of the game, where he starts off as this stubborn, kind of emotionless character trying to keep everything from his son, to slowly cracking and showing more personality as the as the game carries on is so good. I fucking love this. I'm not a massive fan of God of War, but God of War 2018 is one of my favorite games of all time. I fucking love Christopher Judge's performance in it. All of the performances in that game are great. Whoever plays Freya as well, great fucking job. I love all of the cast in that game, but Christopher Judge nailed it. And I can't wait to see the sequel in 2022 because it's not coming out this year, and we'll have a fight about that next week.
I don't think anyone's gonna fight you about that.
Hey, if someone does,
it's not even on my list.
That's gonna be a bold move if anyone picks God of War next week. If anyone picks that game, I'm gonna be like, funny, and counterpick you instantly and watch as the horror happens.
Catch W.
Easy, dude, easy. But no, I love Christopher Judge in God of War. He's great. Hunter, if you got another one?
Alright, so this is a game I talked about rather recently. Melina Juergens from Senua's Sacrifice. The performance that she gives makes that game. Like, it's a very story-driven game, and she manages to portray the constant, like, flux of terror and determination that Senua goes through throughout. Like, it's amazing. The way that, like, constantly second-guessing herself, just panicked breathing sometimes when it gets all dark and the voices in her head just start clamoring about doubting her and all of that.
Yeah.
And then, like, when it gets to the boss fights, her anger, like, boils over into this feral warrior, and she has these awesome lines. Like, she fights Surtur, or however you pronounce that guy's name. And she's like, oh, you've burned everything, but you haven't burned me. Now I'm going to kill you. And I'm like, yes, let's go. Amazing. And, like, yeah, the incredible thing about her specifically is that she wasn't a professional voice actor when they made the game either. She was just like a Ninja Theory video editor.
Yeah, she's the video editor. She still is. She still is the video editor for Ninja Theory.
So they just had her do, like, placeholder stuff, and then it was so good that they're like, we don't need anyone else. Yeah. And I understand why, because I don't imagine that there's a way to beat that. Like, she won the Game Award for Best Performance in a year where it also had Aloy and other people. I don't remember. So I think that speaks.
What a great list of performers,
really.
Dude. What a great...
There were other good performances.
And some other people. Who cares?
But, you know. Yeah, so Melina Juergens, Senua's Sacrifice. I'm sure she'll turn in an equally as good performance for the sequel.
Yeah, I'm sure. I've seen a lot of good things from that, and then I just love that story.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Just someone random on the team temporarily playing the game, because that always happens. They always usually bring in someone
with Sly's voice actor.
No, Sly went. Sly. No, the story behind Kevin Miller, I believe, was Kevin was helping go through the auditions, like he was working for the sound people who were recording the auditions for them, and then they got to a point where they were just like, why don't you just go for it? You've got the voice type, and they did it, and they picked him, and it was just kind of that story.
No. Nice.
But it's stuff like this happens all the time. It's the same story as Yuri Lowenthal playing Spider-Man. When they had just finished working on Sunset Overdrive and they were pitching Spider-Man, they were like, oh, we've got Yuri for the lead in Sunset. We'll just ask him if he's okay with doing our test shots for Spider-Man. And then Insomniac was like, oh, that's great, and we love who you've picked. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, we guess we are using Yuri. So yeah, that just kind of happens. But the fact that it was just a video editor, working on the team, and now they're actually acting is a pretty great thing. I like it quite a bit. Kyle, do you have any offers?
I have 2 more.
Cool.
All right. So this one I could not narrow down. So we're just going to talk about her whole repertoire. It's Erica Lindbeck.
Cop out, boo.
Oh, man, I could have narrowed that down.
To
my favorite.
What's your favorite, Hunter?
Yeah, I have my favorites.
Futaba.
Futaba's pretty good.
What's your favorite, Ethan?
From an actual acting perspective, whatever her character was called in Tell Me Why, I always forget their 2 names, but whatever her...
Alyson,
thank you. It's Alyson and Tyler. I always remember Tyler, but like Tyler always comes to me, but I always forget her name.
You always remember Tyler, but forget his actor's name, and then you just can't.
I forget the actor's name. Yeah, like I know Erica Lindbeck, but it's the opposite way. I know Erica Lindbeck, but I don't know her character's name. I know Tyler, but I don't know who performs him. But no, for me, it's definitely that performance because that's the most I've seen her actually flex her acting muscles, really. Because there's a difference between comedy acting and regular acting. And the thing is, usually if you're good at comedy acting, you're good at regular acting. That's usually the way it works. But they are two very different bones, and that's not always true. There are some comedians that are absolute shit actors. But it's like, for example, for Jack, I'm going to bring up your absolute horrible addiction to fucking Adam Sandler movies right here, dude. You would not expect from Adam Sandler comedy movies that he'd be an actual good actor, but he's a really fucking good actor. When he's actually given a script and a performance that he can do, like in Uncut Gems, he can fucking nail a character. And it's usually because comedians are usually really good at acting. So it's just an example like that. But no, definitely Alyson for me. But anyway, Cal, it's your pick, so.
So what I love about Erica Lindbeck in all of her performances is that it's a lot of what I've said already with all these other voice actors. Like, they know how to play their character. And Erica Lindbeck, she knows her characters inside and out. She knows how to, quote-unquote, work the stage. She knows how to use basically everything to her advantage. And that's just, like... You can tell that she loves having fun in the booth. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a mark of a really good actor. Just when you can tell that they're having fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But no, she's really good in everything.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of pisses me off how talented she is, to be honest. It's really annoying.
I think it's great.
It's so great.
She's just one of those people where I'm just like, damn it. It's the same with like Nolan North and Troy Baker, where I'm just like, fucking damn it. Can't you be shit in one role, please, just to make me feel better? You know what I mean?
I just want to not like one of your roles, please.
I don't think it's physically possible.
It's not.
It's annoying. It's really annoying.
Like, I have five of her roles put down as examples.
List them. Do it.
All right, so let it off with Futaba from P5.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have her Yuzu from Under Night and Blaze Blue, Jessie from Final Fantasy VII Remake, Celica, Fire Emblem Echoes, and then Magilu from Tales of Berseria.
She did Jessie as well in Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she's really good. She's really fucking good, yeah.
I only really knew her for her role as Futaba, actually.
She is. We've had this conversation.
She's great.
We've had this conversation before, but if Troy Baker and Laura Bailey were the signs of the people that would blow up from Persona 4, those were the two that blew up. If anyone was going to blow up like those two did in P5, it's Erica Lindbeck, by far.
Mm-hmm.
Who hasn't already done a load of things because she's relatively young. That's also what pisses me off. At least when I see Troy Baker, I can laugh inside going, well, you may look like you're in your early 30s, but you're in your 40s, so get wrecked. Whereas Erica Lindbeck's like, I don't even think she's
like
30.
28 or something.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there going,
I think she was born in 92.
Oh, that just makes me feel fucking sad because I'm just like, oh, so talented and near enough to my age that I feel bad about it. But no, you should play Fat 7 Remake, Jack. She's really good.
I've been wanting to get around to it, actually. I've mentioned that to you before.
Yeah, you should.
I've never actually played it.
Hey, me too.
Don't be a coward, dude. Don't be a coward.
I'm in the same place I left off last time. I was on the podcast.
You should play. I'm telling you, once you play
seriously,
chapter 4,
it gets better.
It's really good.
Dude,
like, yeah.
As soon as you start it again, it's great.
Right. That isn't even as soon as it gets to, because chapters 1 and 2 are really good. It's just chapter 3 is a bit of a downward just because you do the optional side stuff. But no, once you get back to chapter 4, that's the good shit. Because you mentioned a Persona person, I'm also going to mention a Persona person real quickly.
I was going to mention a Persona person.
Oh, are you go for it there, Jack? If you've got someone, buddy, you go for it. You go for it.
you want to go together? I guess.
No, you finish.
Write it down on a piece of paper and pass it to each other.
Hang on. You're down. You're down in this corner. Let me just reach down. Thank you.
Cheers. All right.
Really, that one?
Yeah, man.
Go on. Yeah.
I was gonna say Matthew Mercer for Yusuke Kitagawa.
That is a different. That was one of my. Matthew Mercer again, a person that's too perfect in everything that I couldn't pick one.
Everything.
I fucking hate you, Matthew Mercer. Please come on the podcast. You're so talented. I hate you.
Yeah. Most passive aggressive invite ever.
He's too good in everything. That's my all these people that are too talented. I hate them. He's so good. Yusuke's one. Mccree is one that I'll always bring up because people don't realize. People don't realize how much work goes into playing a character in Overwatch. I don't think people just go, "Oh, it's Overwatch." They just showed up do a couple of voice lines and walk away. But they're in that universe where they have to play these characters in animated shorts and do these audio clip recordings and do the actual game itself. And it's so much work to make, and each one of those characters is special and is a favorite of someone. Somebody has that hero as their favorite, and he just nails Mccree so well. One of my favorite characters in that game. But anyway, you talk about Matt. It's your time to shine, Jack.
I mean, I don't know. You kind of talked enough. I thought I've heard you.
Well, why does Yusuke's performance?
I mean, I just really like. I was gonna say,
work.
This is kind of also like my last minute hand in the homework part for Ethan, where I was like, I just really like Yusuke as a character and what he brings to the table.
Yusuke is really cool.
Okay, I'll add on to it, Jack, for you. I'll take your homework and I'll just add an extra paragraph to make you feel better. Yusuke is the most underrated performance in Persona 5, where at first a lot of people don't like Yusuke and don't kind of respect his character. They just kind of see him as a throwaway and just kind of ignore him. But when I went back and replayed P5 for the second time, and when I played through Royal, the more and more I see how fucking great of a character that Yusuke is and how well they do his character. You're just not paying attention.
Really good, like and stuff.
Yeah.
He is one of.
A shame.
He's one of, if not the funniest character in that game. He's fucking hilarious.
It's just a shame, like halfway through the game, they kind of like he doesn't get as many lines in that.
I mean that's my problem with Ryuji and Yusuke altogether is. After the halfway point, those characters are just considered, they're his closest friends anyway. Let's just put them on a back burner a bit. And then you just have fucking Morgana and Makoto yelling at you half the time. And I'm like, why couldn't Yusuke say that line? Learn to share. But no. I love Matt Mercer a lot.
I think a lot of the best things that he does for the character is the way he delivers lines, like the weird things he's doing are totally normal.
Oh,
yeah. Why wouldn't I have these lobsters in my hand, you know?
One thing about Yusuke that really put me off of him on a first playthrough was that I didn't really care for Madarame's dungeon. Mm-hmm. So, by extension, I didn't really care about Yusuke. But watching you and Sam play through Royal, like, and seeing Yusuke again, like, it gave me a whole new perspective on him.
Yeah,
I think that
he's my favorite.
Imagine what a Royal playthrough for yourself would do for Yusuke then.
Oh, dude. Well, imagine.
It's over there. I'll get to it eventually when I get an itch to play Persona 5 again.
It's one of the things that I love about Persona in general is you can replay those games over and over and over again and come out with different thoughts and feelings about the whole thing. Yeah. Is what I love. Is I've not had a single playthrough of Persona, and this is the sad fucker that's played through it like 4 times in the past 2 years, that I've never had a single playthrough where I've come out thinking the exact same way about the game as I did when I went in. And I just love that shit. It's so good.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm looking forward to playing Golden eventually when you fucking release it on a console again, Alice, for God's sake. Go on.
One last quick thing. My opinion on Yusuke is kind of the same opinion I had on Kanji when I first played P4.
I loved him straight away.
I didn't really care about Kanji, but the more playthroughs I've done of P4, the more Kanji's great.
Illegal.
Kanji's amazing.
Fucking illegal. Troy Baker and Laura Bailey. Troy Baker and Laura Bailey steal Persona 4. It's not even fair for any of the other characters. They just steal that game.
Hey, Yuri Lowenthal's there too.
Spider-Man's alright.
Yeah,
Spider-Man's alright.
but...
And Amanda Winley.
Right. Because we're on the topic of Persona, I'll get mine out of the way because I did. Royal is in my pile. Hello, look, there's Royal. I'm just gonna put it to the side because we don't need to show and tell that game enough. My pick is. I was thinking.
God, he's talking about Persona again.
Someone get rid of him. Yeah, exactly. Hey, I'm not gonna say that my character's my favorite. Like, I really like this character because he slides on a chair. Okay, let me read my notes.
Oh yeah, I like this character because he slides on a grappling hook.
It's not right now. I just wanted to give a shout out to. I was thinking about all of them, and I thought you were gonna bring up Erica Lindbeck. You're gonna bring up Matt Mercer. So I went with Billy Kametz, who plays Maruki in Persona 5 Royal. I was going to pick Robbie Damon, but Robbie Damon has had so much praise for Akechi at this point. I'm like, I think Robbie, you can sit down because I think Billy Kametz does not get enough time to shine. Billy Kametz
but did he get enough praise as Bunger?
No, more praise. Hashtag justice for Bunger, kids. Let's get it trending. Honestly, you know, we've had this conversation where it was like, if we ever got Troy Baker on the show, all I would do is talk to him about Kanji because everyone talks to him about fucking Joel and stuff like that. The exact same would be for Robbie Damon. Everyone talks to him about Akechi. I would just sit here for an hour and talk about Bunger. That is all I talk about. Is so when you said Bunger for the 4th time, what were you feeling inside? You know, like what was the soul that went into that Bunger?
And then we never get another guest on the show again.
No, but Robbie Damon will be so happy with it. He'll just keep coming back, and that's all we need.
Just for Bunger?
Just for Bunger.
Maybe he wants to talk about Tuxedo Mask.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But anyway, back to Billy Kametz as Maruki, right? I just wanted to give a short shout because he's so fucking good in this game. It's
the
like
character's so fucking good.
The character itself is phenomenal, where I'm like, holy shit. But just that performance is so fucking good. And he doesn't eat like a lot of Persona characters like that performance is good. He's great when he's calm and normal. He's good when he's fucking out there. That's a lot of Persona characters. You could say the same with Akechi, where he's like, he's great when he fucking loses when he's just losing his shit. Whereas Maruki somehow plays like every emotion, but doesn't have to go into anime like crazy voice, like just go fucking start riffing on everything. He's able to perform his role in that story. Which, if you haven't played the game, go and play it. But he's able to perform that role in that story perfectly. Where it's a performance where, again, when we were talking about anime versus non-anime performances, it didn't feel like a typical anime performance.
It feels like someone you could just have a normal conversation with.
He feels like a genuine human being that has actual emotions, that doesn't go from 1 to 100 because you said the wrong thing. He's so good. And if you would have told me that the one thing that I take out of that game was Maruki's performance, I was like, nah. But honestly, Billy Kametz nailed that role. Nah. He's fucking incredible, and I love that role to pieces. But there you go. There we go. Moving on. Hunter, do you have another one? Can you think of one?
I really wanted to say something like Laura Post, just
do it.
Kasumi but I don't really have much to say beyond, she was really good in the role, and I don't want to go into specifics.
That's genuinely
She was also an Octopath, if you want to talk about her performance there.
She was great in that too. But instead, I'm going to talk about Yuri Lowenthal.
Hell yeah.
Spider-Man gets a shout out.
Luc von Fabre from Tales of the Abyss.
I'm literally just going to put Tales from the Abyss because I am not spelling that bit out on the card. Thank you.
Alright, so he's one of the best developed JRPG protagonists I've ever come across. The dude starts out as this very irritating rich kid, and Yuri Lowenthal plays this full of himself, doesn't know anything, but thinks he can do whatever he wants kind of kid really well. Mm-hmm. Then things happen in the story later, gives him a rude awakening. He's like, oh, I suck. And then for the second act of the game, it's basically this whole kind of self-doubt thing the entire time, where he can't do anything right himself, but he's still trying to encourage all the other party members and such as it goes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really an interesting thing, because like, so you can't be positive, just now your whole self-image is ruined. So that sucks for you, pal. And then when you finally get to the end and he's like actually, restored his faith in himself and feels like he's worth something, it's just a really good arc that Yuri Lowenthal does a great job at portraying.
Mm-hmm. Yuri's just great in everything, man. He is
true.
Just good in everything. Like, Spider-Man is a hard character to do, but to me, he just is Spider-Man. Like, there's no second thinking about it. Like, when I look at the movies, even with Tom, right? Tom's the closest I think they've got to Spider-Man being Spider-Man. But
Even
when
just
I look
Peter
at
Parker as well,
when I
like,
look at Andrew Garfield and I look at Tobey Maguire, I'm like, I see it, but nah, there's bits and pieces where I'm like, oh, Tobey, your Peter's the worst fucking thing ever. In times, and oh, Andrew, why the fuck is your Spider-Man so shit? There's like parts of that where I'm just like, whereas Yuri just gets it instantly. He is Peter Parker, he is Spider-Man. They just nailed it. He's like, and I think it's just because he's done stuff like this before. He's done the animations, he's done everything where it just feels like, it's like, yeah, this is Spider-Man, and not in just like a campy way, not in like a. He feels like he is that character, and I love it. And then again in Persona 4, he's great in Persona 4.
He was also the protagonist in Persona 3.
And he is the protagonist in Persona 3.
Fact.
Yeah, he is the
protagonist. I don't remember if he played anyone else in that game, but those battle lines, man.
Yeah, he's... Oh, man.
Hit me right here.
I just, yeah. Oh, man. I really hope
that Persona, I felt that.
I really hope one day that Xander Mobus gets to do an actual character in Persona. I'd love to see him like actually tackle like a full character.
Johnny Young Bosch was like Ryuji or someone, and then like the next game, Xander Mobus would be like the best friend character. It'd be funny if that was like the lineage of.
That would be funny.
They do now.
Yeah, that'd be funny if they did that. No, that'd be funny. But no, I love Yuri and everything. He's great.
Yeah, he's great.
Very cool. Kyle, did you say you have one more?
I have one more.
Go for it then, bud. What's your last one?
My last one is Christina V.
Oh, yeah?
She's been in more things than I can care to count, but I think the performance that I would have to give it to is her performance as Velvet in Tales of Berseria.
Yeah.
And this is kind of an opposite reason for a lot of others. A lot of the other characters, the other voices I've picked. Velvet, so in the prologue, Velvet is like this young, energetic village girl who's just going about her day, doing all sorts of shit, just having a good time. And then the prologue hits its climax, shit hits the fan, and flash forward 3 years after you're in the main game, Velvet has been jailed because she's got like demon powers in her now, and she is just dead inside. There is zero emotion in her voice.
Yeah,
and
that's the spirit. It's the Nier Automata vibes. Here we go. Depressed everything.
Just going from one extreme of peppy, energetic village girl to I'm fucking dead inside because I lost everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that contrast just was so well done, and Christina V just hit it out of the park.
Yeah. I haven't played it, so I can't add any to it, so I'm just going to take your word for it and go, I believe you.
I mean, Christina V, like, she's been in everything.
Yeah,
I feel like
I've seen her in other stuff, and she is good at what she does. So yeah, I believe you. Hunter, do you have any left, by the way? In your head?
I could come up with a couple. I could do at least one more if that's.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. That's good because right. One, I just wanted to. In fact, I won't. I'll say. If that name is your last one, I'll leave that just in case, because I was like, there's only one person that's on my shout outs list for being great in general that I haven't picked, so I'll leave that one for now.
Did you go over your 3 stupid ones?
No, I have one serious and one stupid one, so I'm gonna go with the stupid one now. So my award for best worst performance of all time goes to Al Weaver in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, who plays Rex. And I'm telling you, when I say this is the best, worst performance of all time and you haven't played Xenoblade 2, I mean it's the fucking best, worst performance. Honestly, it is he is at times so off, like what the scene is supposed to be, but it's so good. There is a fucking scene, Jack, where someone's like fucking nearly dying and Rex is just saying words just like he's just skipping and jumping around, dude. He's like, no, you can't do that. Or
there's one scene at the end.
Carl, that kills people.
Yeah.
There's one scene at the end of the first chapter where, I shit you not, they played the same scream line 3 times in a row for him.
Yeah, because he can't do screams. He couldn't do screams for the life of him. It was so bad. And then there's the famous "I love you and all you guys" line, which is... There's this massive fight. There's basically, just imagine this massive fight's going down, and someone says, "I love you, Rex," and then imagine in my voice, because he's basically a Midlands guy. He's basically just Central England, like I am. So imagine someone in my voice who is in the middle of a massive battle. There's this really powerful scene, and someone's like, "I love you, Rex," and then he just says it like this: "I love you and all you guys."
Sounds like he's talking to the podcast.
Yeah, I genuinely had to. This is the only time in a video game where I've ever had to pause a cutscene to stop laughing. Tears were down my eyes. I was fucking crying with laughter. I had to pause the game because I couldn't stop laughing.
I've had to do that twice playing Xenoblade.
Al Weaver, you get so much shit from the Xenoblade community, but I just want to say I fucking love you, because that performance is so special to me, because it's one of those things where it's so off and so, like, at times bad. It's so good. Like, it's honestly, fucking perfect. It's so bad, it's perfection. I love it at times.
I think that can be said for a lot of the voices in Xenoblade 2. Like, a lot of their performances start off kind of rocky, but by the end, they definitely have worked into their character.
Yeah.
I want to give a special mention to Sky Bennett, voice of Pyra Mythra.
Mm-hmm.
Her performance in the base game as Mythra and Pyra start out, like I said, really shaky. But then come the Torna expansion, and she fucking nails Mythra.
Yeah.
She understands that character to a T, and she really helped flesh out the character even more.
But no, there we go. Right, Hunter, go on then. What's your final one?
Alrighty here. I'm gonna go with Logan Cunningham as the voice of the Transistor. Transistor is
get the chalkboard out, dude. Like fucking mark the tally. We've done Persona. We've done we've done Devil May Cry, and there's the fucking Transistor stroke Hades stroke anything Supergiant does fucking tick on the column. We've hit all 3, boys. There's the quota. Anyway,
it's almost like these are good games or something.
Yeah, it's almost as if. So, Transistor is a game where Logan Cunningham is the voice that was trapped inside the Transistor. Mm-hmm. Silly little sword stabbed him before the game started, and the main character, Red, lost her voice also before the game started. So this is a very interesting portrayal of this person who is familiar with another character in the game, but it's a very one-sided conversation. But it acts as the narration in a lot of ways, but it's really natural because these two have known each other forever. And so you get exposition and stuff, but it's in a way that feels like it wouldn't be out of place in a regular conversation. Mm-hmm. And I think he does a good job at portraying this as like the narrative backbone of the game. And the dude's also got range there. Like there's a scene later where it shows what happened before the game started, and dude's panicked as all get out. It's really nice. And then there's another point where, because of the process, the weird little data creatures that are causing a ruckus in the game, there's a really big one that starts messing with how the transistor functions. So it's basically makes him drunk, and it's hilarious. If you stop to push the little hum button for the game, He'll start singing like the vocal songs from the game, and it's amazing.
Yeah. Nice. No, you saying you saying drunk is just none of you seen WandaVision, but there's this great fucking scene in WandaVision that I saw this week, and it just reminds me of that. Where Vision's basically fucking pissed, and it's so good. You need to watch it. If you haven't watched that, go watch it. But no, I just love people being drunk in any form, because I just love that as actors, 90% of the time, you've got to actually pretend you're drunk. Like some directors will be like, yeah, actually get pissed for this scene. We'll see what happens. But most of the time, it's like play drunk, and I just love when anyone plays drunk, because it's just like they just go to 110 on it. They're just like.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I fucking love when actors do that. It's good shit. Right, well, I do have one, and here comes the Sony pony. Off he comes again. Where are we going this time, kids? That's basically what. I'm gonna have to I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to give the fucking normie answer. Fucking this shitty game. Get in the bin.
Hey.
Last of Us. Fucking. Right. Here's the thing with The Last of Us. Right. And I'm saying Troy and Ashley, both of them. I was also going to say Laura, but Laura is in my special mentions for just being great in everything.
That's a good category.
And I couldn't pick one.
Troy Baker not in that?
He is, but I think that I honestly think that
they own that category. They're the only two there.
No, because whereas Laura Bailey, I haven't played enough games with Laura Bailey to go hit the nail on the head. That's the best performance I've seen from Laura Bailey. I can 100% do that with Troy Baker. And to me, that's him in The Last of Us. There's two scenes in particular. I'm not going to spoil. I'm going to spoil the first one because it's the first scene of The Last of Us. And if you've not seen The Last of Us, if you've not seen the first fucking 20 minutes, we've got an old Let's Play of me playing the first 20 minutes because that's all I got into the Let's Play before I just played it by myself. So go and watch me have a fucking mental breakdown over that. But that one...
There's a part where a car crashes and Ethan acts like it just crashed in front of him. It's amazing.
It is really good. I highly recommend it. I kind of wish I recorded all of it, but I got bored of recording. But no, there's the scene with Joel's daughter dying at the start of The Last of Us is one of the best performances I think I've seen in a game, period. It's weird to say I love that scene, but I love how fucked up that scene is and how Troy nailed it. And I think the story behind that scene is just as good as the actual scene itself, where that's the scene that Troy had to record the most because he kept doing it, and Neil was like, we don't have it, and Troy was getting so pissed off because he thought he had it. He was bringing out the tears. He was going over the top. And they were like, okay, we think we've got it. And then 2 months later, Neil comes back to him and he goes, yeah, we need to refilm a scene. And Troy's like, what scene? And he's like, and Druck was just like, you know which scene we're talking about. And he like has a fit. He's like, are we fucking done it? I've got it. And he's like, no, because all I see is you losing her. I don't see the panic. I don't see the fear. There's like 7 stages where he's like, I can fix this. I can't fix this. I'm losing her. I've lost her. I'm done. I'm broken. And Druckmann's like, I've got you've lost her. I just don't have the 8 other stages. And like the fact that Troy had to fucking pain himself that much to get that scene done, fucking flawless. One of the best performances. It is the best performance he's ever done. But I also want to give a shout out, this one I won't spoil, to the last scene in The Last of Us Part 2. I cried over that scene, and it's not particularly fucking, it's not like a heartstring moment. It's not like a pull on you moment. It's just so well fucking acted that it's honestly one of the best scenes he's done. I think I said that in a podcast like a month ago where I was like, I think that's one of the best scenes he's ever done. So those 2 scenes, and then just Ashley Johnson in general for that entire performance. She nails Ellie. She just is Ellie. With the HBO show coming out, I can see them finding someone to be Joel. I still think Troy Baker should, because he's in his 40s. They can make that work. Fucking bring Troy Baker into it. But Ashley Johnson obviously can't play Ellie. And in my eyes, I don't see how the hell anyone will be able to play that character, because so much of Ellie is Ashley and her performance. The fact that Ellie wanted to be an astronaut is straight out of Ashley Johnson. because Neil said, "What would you want to be when you were a kid? What did you want to be growing up?" And she said, "An astronaut." And Neil was like, "Okay, we'll make it happen." And that's where that museum scene comes in part 2. Honestly, just say what you want about those games. The performances in those games in general, fucking nailed. Love them.
While we're talking about Last of Us, have you ever seen the clip of like the ending scene from the Last
the musical?
Of Us and the yeah, it's amazing.
It's really good. Yeah, basically everyone.
If you've already seen The Last of Us, go look that up.
Yeah, if you played Last of Us Part 1, go and watch the ending. Basically, Druckmann pulled a prank on Troy Baker by saying, "Let's do one more version of the final scene," because he already knew he had it in the can. But he told everyone else to sing their lines like it's a musical, just to see what happens. And it's so good, because it's like the final scene. He has like Ellie in his arms, right, in the final scene of The Last of Us Part 1. And you've just got fucking people singing. And Troy has two options here. He either goes with it, or he breaks out of character and goes, "What the fuck?" And because he's a professional, he just goes with it. And it's so good. It's
amazing. It is the best.
If you haven't, go and watch that. It's really good. But no, there you go. I think I'm done.
Treasure.
I think I've said everything. I think we're good.
Yeah, I'm done.
Just in general, cool. Love to hear it.
Yep.
Love to hear the
This is the finale of Hot Gamers Only.
We've rebranded and now we're going away. Goodbye.
See you guys in March when we do Let's Plays again.
Oh,
goodbye.
No. But no, God. That has been our show.
I don't have enough lead time to record one.
Yeah, there we go. But let us know what your favourite picks for favourite performances, favourite actors are in the comments down below. Leave a like while you're there and leave a positive rating on podcast services if you don't mind. And yeah, remember, every Monday, 5 p.m. UK time, 12 p.m. Eastern, we'll be back with a brand new episode of HGO. Or the HGO podcast, should I say, as we're now referring it to it, so that when everything else on the channel comes out, it's a mess. We'll get through it, guys. We'll get through it.
Remember to tell us who you think would win the fabled lion versus chicken battle as well.
Remember, 2 lions, 2 million chickens.
Oh yeah, Kyle, we're at the end of the episode. Thank you for reminding me, Hunter. You said you didn't think you could comprehend it. Any closer to that comprehension of the subject, Kyle? Any closer?
No.
Okay.
No. But granted, I haven't had to do a lot of comprehending in my life recently, so might have forgotten how to.
Hey, fair play. But no, there you go. That's been our show. Thank you ever so much for listening or watching. We'll be back next week. But until then, Hunter, where can people find you?
YouTube.com/ReaperHunter23.
Kyle, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at KDavisSRL or on Twitch at twitch.tv/KDavisSRL.
Jack, where can people truly experience the Yakobine, dude?
To experience the Yakobine experience, you just go to twitter.com/Yakobine or twitch.tv/Yakobine.
You'll love to see it, and I am on Twitter and Twitch at Chaotic Ether. Thank you ever so much for listening. We'll be back next week with, hopefully, touch wood, fucking fingers crossed, pray that we'll be back with our betting special of us basically doing Fantasy League predictions like every other gaming podcast does on the internet. But this time, we all won't be industry veterans and have no idea what we're fucking talking about, so that's why it'll be fun.
Woo!
Woo for knowing nothing.
Greg Miller lost his to the new guy in Kind of Funnies by a large margin. So
yeah, dude. And I just always remember Easy Allies when I was seeing what they would like. One person genuinely was last by 100 points because they just forgot to pick shit and then picked like Skull and Bones and stuff. Like they just didn't come out. It was a really great showing. So yeah, hopefully we'll see how we do, guys. But yeah, we'll see. We'll be back next week. Hopefully, touch wood, fingers crossed, pray. We'll see. But until then, we're gonna get out of here. We'll see you next week. Until then, see ya.
Take care.
Toodaloo.